Jack is the owner of a small hotel. He wants to sell more rooms, but when it comes to selling online, he feels like a fish out of water. He has a website, but not enough sales. So he tries the usual suspects and signs up with online booking engines, central reservation systems, global and internet distribution systems, and travel agencies. Still, customers and his friends say that they can't find his hotel online. He opens up a Facebook page, a TripAdvisor business listing, and many others. He also launches online marketing campaigns. Now he is selling more rooms, but he spends all his time in front of the computer, managing accounts, contracts, and publishing room availability on each account. To his surprise, he realizes that he is not making more money. Finally, Jack meets HotelRunner. He opens up only one account and manages all his business in one place. With one click, he creates stunningly beautiful, multilingual web, mobile, and social presence and reaches more guests. With an integrated online booking engine, he accepts reservations and online payments. His hotel can connect directly to global and internet distribution systems and travel agencies. No more manually publishing room availability. He increased direct sales and dramatically improved revenues. And guess what? HotelRunner is affordable. No setup fees, no recurring subscription fees, and no shenanigans. Pay as you go. Want to sell more rooms? Sign up for a free account on HotelRunner now.
Hello, Ali. Welcome to our certificate program.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Great to have you here. I just wanted to show what HotelRunner does, but for those of us who are not really very inside the distribution systems for hotels, can you please tell us what is this mean? We all know that big chains like Hilton's and Marriott's, they all have their own distribution channels, but is HotelRunner solving the problems of these big chains or another type of hotels?
So first of all, thanks for having me today. It was a great opportunity. We would like to always, make contributions to this kind of initiatives. We appreciate what you are doing there, and it is very good for the industry as well. So can I share my screen, please? Can we follow?
Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. I can
Absolutely.
see. Before jumping into the distribution space, we may need to understand the existing snapshot of the industry, global accommodation industry. Let me give you some stats, and maybe we can take from there. So we have roughly about 15 million accommodations available worldwide, according to the Euromonitor and some other sources. When we say accommodations here, we are excluding the daily rentals or vacation rental businesses. We are talking about legitimate properties like hotels, motels, or pensions. So surprisingly, the 14 million out of this 15 million market are still disconnected offline. When I say offline, I mean two things. So one of them is they may not be very well represented on a digital environment. They may not have any digital footprint online. Second, they may have some initiatives. They may have some, for example, static web pages, or they may have some content available online. However, their inventory, rooms, availabilities, or prices are not online. They are not online bookable, so to speak. So the only 1 million lucky ones are today somehow either online or directly connected to the online travel agencies or some online sales platforms. So you may be curious about why are they offline. So today, if you look at the 14 million as a number, it's big. And mostly the 14 million are consisting of small, medium-sized properties, up to 30, 35 rooms. So they're offline because we have a heavily fragmented travel tech market, which is not easy to use, and the most importantly, not affordable for the small, medium-sized properties. As you can imagine, as a small property owner, you are chopping the carrots in the kitchen and you're also rushing into welcoming new guests at your front desk. So most probably you are only 3-4 people managing all the stuff in a small property. And if you're a little bit medium-sized business, the number of staff is going up to, let's say, 10 or 15. So dealing with all these online stuff requires a different skill set and different budget, which they haven't realized till today. So that's why you have to provide them easy to use and affordable tech solutions in order to accelerate the adoption, the technology adoption. And obviously, as a small, medium-sized property, if you stay offline, you are creating another problem on the demand side, which is consisting of travel agencies, online travel agencies, or meta search engines. They are all suffering from accessing to long-tail, small, medium-sized properties. They are all looking for an efficient way of acquiring small, medium-sized properties. And as soon as they successfully onboard any content of the small, medium-sized property, secondly, they are looking for keeping them engaged. When I say engage, we need to understand keeping their inventory and content up to date in the online world in order to provide a better satisfaction for the guests, online guests. And one of the biggest hidden thing in this picture is obviously the connectivity foundation between the supply and the demand side. The industry has to have a connectivity initiative like financial industry has today. I'm talking about Visa card or MasterCard like networks. And on the third side, you may be curious about, as a small, medium-sized property, you may be curious about what is the bucket list for being a digital property. They have to deal with different types of technologies today. If they would like to sell online through their digital sales channels, they need to have a website, and with an embedded booking engine, with an embedded payment gateway. The things are getting a little bit complicated when we start selling online. We are not only talking about having a simple website. And obviously, the content is heavily changing. It's constantly changing. Even just, we are in the pandemic situation, and each day the world is changing. The news are emerging. We are having the most updated news even on an hourly basis in the digital world, and as well as in the normal life. So that's why as soon as you see any news which is affecting your business directly, you would like to update your content on the website. Even you don't want to call anybody from your web agency. You have to have and in control of your content, even not only inventory. And obviously, the second thing is in your agenda would be managing your inventory. Managing the inventory in the property's life is much more sophisticated than a traditional industry like a retail industry. The inventory is actually time driven. If you can't book today, your revenue is definitely lost. It is not something that's sitting in your warehouse. So you have to have 100% occupancy rate on each day. That's the end goal. That's the ultimate goal. Obviously, you can't achieve this ultimate goal by yourself as a property owner. So you have to work with the new partners like online travel agencies. And in that case, obviously, you have to connect your rooms, availabilities, prices, which are mostly constantly changing, even second by second. You have to distribute these three key pillars in your sales and revenue across the digital partners. It can be meta search engines, it can be online travel agencies, or it can be any type of agency or sales channel who would like to sell online, who would like to sell on demand. And obviously, when you start, welcoming the new digital guests, you would like to manage that guest in a digital environment too. So it looks like kind of managing a digital life cycle of a sales. When you have the guest, you would like to touch that guest after they checked out the property, or while they're at your property, or even before the check-in. You would like to touch that guest individually at each stage of the booking life cycle. And when they're checking out, you would like to provide the best payment experience to your guest. If they're actually booking through your website, you would like to provide most probably the best online checkout experience with the relevant payment option to your guests. Depending on the country, obviously it's changing. And digital world requires 100 plus more features from your property. So it's not easy to deal with that. But on the other hand, the premium is high. So we are talking about 5 times higher revenue potential here. They have to have a digital footprint. They have to be digital in any way, because consumers are digital. Sales channels are digital. Even consumers are mobile. So being online is not sufficient. They have to be mobile as well. So that's why you are taking too much risk here as a small and medium-sized property, but the premium is generating 5 times higher revenue. Obviously, revenue is not the right angle. We need to also look at the profitability perspective. So that's why, if you're actually hiring 4 or 5 different people, who is actually increasing your labor cost, obviously it may not be a profitable solution for you. I mean, being a digital property. So that's why, you have to find the right partner in the world who is actually providing you a profitable revenue stream. So that because of these kind of reasons, so being digital and the distribution of anything regarding to a property is crucial. It is mandatory because your consumers are digital.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ali. This is great. What I would like to now, from what I understand, is that there are 15 million global accommodations, and 14 million of them are still offline, even today. So that's a surprising number for me. And the technology like HotelRunner and others actually make that connection from the hotel to the consumers, the guests, travelers. But and you said that it increases the revenue 5 times for those hotels that are connected. That's very significant, not just the revenue, but the profitability as well. Can you please tell us, being in the kind of like a 30,000 feet company that sees many, many properties, how many properties do you represent in the world total?
Roughly about 42,000.
So 42,000 properties. Can you please tell us very briefly, what was the impact of pandemic on those bookings, and how do you see it now, and how do you project the future? Very quickly, please.
Sure. It's a very good question, but the question has different answers depending on the region. However, if you look at all regions available in the world, you will see that the domestic market is winning during the pandemic. The markets who have a really strong domestic market, for example, like Mexico, like Asia, like Middle East, they all won during the pandemic, during the last 6-7 months, depending on the region. Some regions are getting affected for more than a year. But the domestic markets are actually helping the local businesses really to survive during the pandemic. And the second thing is the countries whose actually airline borders open today for international visitors are also winning. because there are still people looking for leisure travels, not business, but leisure travels. They would like to travel to the most closest, let's say, destination to their home country. For example, from US to Mexico, from US to Brazil, but not actually necessarily US to Europe, for example. So those countries are also, in terms of business, they are winning. And the recovery, if you look at the recovery rates, Asia has been demonstrating significant recovery according to our records, including obviously the China, but I would like to also add the Southeast Asia as well. The Southeast Asia has been representing a very strong recovery. But the domestic market is key here. They have to work with the all big domestic players online.
Right.
And just final thoughts about what properties are doing today. They really adopted their businesses to the pandemic as well. So they are trying to build a contactless zero-touch environment in the property. Those properties are ranked #1.
Right. That's my next question to you. So, and last question. Can technology be a savior? So we understand that distribution technologies like what HotelRunner offers is critical. But are there any other technologies that you see that these hotels are using that makes a difference?
Exactly. So if you look at the core value of the properties and core value of the hospitality, it's all about humans. We know it. It's all about the service and the experience that the guests are having during their journey in the property. That's obvious. We can't remove human from the actually equation here or formula here. However, during the pandemic and what we are expecting in the post-pandemic, the expectations today are different. I mean, the guest expectations are different. The guests are loaded different meanings to the hospitality, what we are seeing so far. They're expecting a zero-touch service in the property. They would like to feel the cleanliness of the property, but they don't want to see anybody at the same time. So that's why they would like to feel that they are in a safe environment, cleaned by humans, without seeing anybody walking around. So their expectation is already provided by humans, and they will keep providing by humans as well. But the real tricky point is you don't want to be walking around. So in that case, the things are getting a little bit sophisticated. Again, you need some key technologies in the properties. For example, the guests maybe would like to order anything through their mobile phone, through their mobile app as a property. So even before the pandemic, none of the small, medium-sized properties thinking about having a mobile app or providing a mobile ordering experience to their guests. But today they are thinking. So again, we need to provide them an affordable, for example, ordering channel to their guests. So the guest expectations are different. Humans are staying in the center. However, they need new partners in order to satisfy the new expectations of the guests.
So you are saying that the properties, the companies that scan these trends as the guest requested, and those are the ones who provide it, will make the difference at the end.
Exactly. Guests are setting the trend. Consumers are setting the trend. If they're holding the mobile phone, then they're setting the mobile phone as a new trend. Today, they are all tech savvy. They are all mobile savvy. They know how to order things already through their mobile phone. So they would like to see and have the same experience today during their journey in the property.
Wonderful. Ali, thank you. Thank you to you and HotelRunner for your continuous support for our program.
Always appreciate for having us here. Thank you.